For the L8 you want any scope, it really doesn't matter. I use ACOG because I like the best. Then compensator, because that's the best when it comes to recoil. And vertical, which is the only thing. SMG-11, you should use holographic or reflex, it really doesn't matter with sight. Flash hider is the easiest to do recoil with. If you think you can control recoil really well on day, then use compensator, as you can see in the recoil pattern. For Thatcher to start off, it really doesn't matter what gun you want to use. If you want to use AR-33, you get any sight, flash hider, and vertical or angle. And then for the L8, you can use any sight, compensator, and vertical. Freshest guns, it really doesn't matter. I prefer the R4C, so I use holographic. Doesn't matter what sight again. Flash hider and vertical. You can use laser if you want, it doesn't really matter. And then if you're using the G3, use any sight. I use 1.5, use flash hider, and then vertical or angled. For thermite, I suggest using the 5.56. You can use any scope. I use ACOG. I like that the best. Flash hider is the best decision. And vertical. For Twitch, I use 1.5. I think that's the best sight. Muzzle brake, vertical, and laser. For fuse, I use AK. I use 2.0. It doesn't matter what sight. I use a compensator and vertical. For AQ, there's a lot of decisions. For the AUG, which is what I use a 2.5 flash hider. For the Commando, I use a 1.5 compensator and angled. But if you can't control recoil, use vertical. In the G8, I use holographic, flash hider, and vertical. For Bucks gun, I use holographic and flash hider, because I don't think it has much recoil. Holographic. If you want to use 1.5, I suggest changing the barrel to a compensator or muzzle. For Blackbeard, I use holographic. Use muzzle, which probably could change to flash hider, and then vertical. For Captel, I use the 1.5 compensator and vertical. You can change it angled if you want, but I always feel that vertical makes it better. For Habana, I use the 2.5 flash hider and the vertical. If you have pretty good recoil control, then you should use angled, but I've just never changed it. I feel like it helps a lot more, especially in gunfights. In the bearing, I need to switch between reflex and holographic. It really doesn't matter. I use flash hider and I use a laser. For Jackal, I use holographic, flash hider, and vertical. Oh, you can change that to an angled. And for this gun, I use 1.5 compensator vertical. For the TM95, I use 2.5 compensator and vertical. For Zofia, I'd highly recommend using M7 instead of the LMG. And I use a 2.0 flash hider and vertical. In Dokkaebi, you can use a Boss J if you're really accurate. But if you're not, I suggest using MK. I use 3.0, muzzle, and the vertical. Again, it doesn't matter what scope you have. You can use whatever. The Boss G, I don't use it, so I have holographic vertical, but you can change the angled ACOG. For the SMG-12, it is holographic, vertical, and laser. The C75, that's just plain. I sometimes put a suppressor, but I don't know. For the V308, I use ACOG, flash hider, vertical. 417, just go back to Twitch. And then for the spear, I use 2.0, compensator, and vertical. For MAV, I feel like the best gun is the M4. It's 1.5, compensator, and vertical. For the AK, I use the ACOG and flash hider. And it really doesn't matter what you use because compensator makes it more recoil. And muzzle brake and flash hider are basically the same. For the ARX, I use the 2.5 and I use compensator because, as you can see right here, it has less recoil, but it has a larger spread. And you want it, so you just need to pull down. For gridlock, you can use either gun. I use the F90, I use ACOG, flash hider, vertical. But if you use the saw, I don't use it, so I don't have any sight, compensator, and then vertical. No, flash hider. For Nook, I use the 1.5, and again, barrels doesn't matter. Muzzle brake and flash hider doesn't really make a difference. For Amara, I use holographic, compensator, and vertical. And then for the SMG-11, I have holographic, flash hider, and vertical. If you're going to use the ARX for Ayana, just go back to what I said for Nomad and the G3. For the AK, I use 2.0, compensator, and vertical. And for Zero, it's going to be 1.5, compensator, and vertical, or angle. Really doesn't matter. I think vertical's better, personally, but you can use angled. And then for barrels, again, it doesn't matter. You can use anything. I think flash hider would be the best though.